Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're hanging out in the garage tonight. As you can see, we got the stander up on the lifts here. Having some issues, so we're just gonna walk through what's going on and try to help you guys out if you're having anything similar issues. Stuff we're gonna be going through should work on, this is a 648R. It should work on 648R, 652R, 661R, and probably like the lower trim models, like the E, I think they're called. I'm not too familiar, but I think they all have the same type of frame, so they should all work. These tips should work for all of them. So basically, the issues we're having. First thing was the one of the deck belts. There are two deck belts on this. I didn't realize that till this happened. One of the deck belt that connects to the PTO and then to the deck broke. So then we were out of commission on that. Went to go replace that. Realized how much a job it was going to be. Got up in there, saw the dry belt was destroyed too. Second deck belt's also not looking great, so we're going to go ahead and do all of our belts. So this will do every single belt on this machine is going to be going over in this video on how to replace it. Probably the easiest way I've found from researching and doing it here. We're also going to go through an oil change and the left hydro pump is leaking, so we're going to try and diagnose that. Oil change, hydro pump, probably be in another video. But this will just show you the belts, and this will, so if you have any of these problems, then you can try these methods to make it a little bit easier on yourself, because this is quite a job for just changing some belts out. So like I was saying, you can see we got this thing up. We got it up on drive up wheel jacks in the front, and then up in the back we got two jack stands. We got it up there. Give you a look from the back here. This thing, the easiest way to do this is to be able to get underneath, so you got to get it up pretty high, and then a rolly cart or a creeper is the easiest way to get in and out of there, from what I've found, so you're not getting your back all dirty, and you're going to be in and out of there a lot with different tools, figuring out what you need. So let's go in. As you can see, I got a lot of it apart. After I got this far, I realized that this is quite a job, and it took me a while to figure out the best way to do this. So I figured I could save you guys some time, and we can go through it and just make everyone's lives a little easier, because this is a pain in the butt. All right, so first things first, we're going to go through what I've removed so far. Obviously, wheels on both sides have been removed. Did that after we jacked it up. Jack it up's first thing, obviously. Took off the wheels on both sides. Just gives you way easier access to get in and out from the side. It's a little tight. If you can jack it up higher, it'll make it even easier for you. But that was the first step. And then from there, what I did was remove the striper that a lot of these have on them. Again, just kind of in the way. You'll see once we get in there, it kind of hangs below the PTO and restricts getting access to that, along with these anti-scalp wheels and the brackets that go in the back. It's just easiest to get them out. It's a pain in the butt, especially if they've never been taken off. You know, those bolts are going to be a pain to get undone, but between electric ratchet, might be able to get an impact with some of them. You have to get a wrench. Sometimes some of them you have to get a wrench on both sides because there's not enough clearance, but it's worth it to get it out of the way so you have enough room to get in there. And then obviously you want to take this back pan off. I run a grass flap, so I can't get it out of the way too much because I run it through the hole right here, and it's just easy enough to throw it to the side. But that gives you access to the back, and then you can raise and lower your deck to depending on where you need to go. That makes it easier to get in there. So next we're going to go underneath, and I'll show you kind of how the PTO went and how we were able to actually get it off. All right, so going under the mower here, excuse the glare. So obviously you have this portion right here. Let's see if I can get my hand up in here. It's not one of the most clearance. So this is where your shaft comes out of the motor, straight down obviously. Here's your drive pulley. Your PTO would be sitting right here. So how you're going to be getting that out is first, it's removing this bolt. You're going to need a large socket and then a pair of either a large wrench or just use an adjustable wrench, which is what I did. And then that'll hold everything in place while you undo it, the socket. It's going to be tight in there, obviously. It's pretty tight, so helps to have 2 people for that if possible, but it's definitely doable with 1. So once that's off, you'll notice most likely your PTO is not going to come off right away, especially if you have a high-hour machine. They just kind of figure out a way to get themselves stuck on there. So the best way I found after researching, and there's somebody else, I'll shout them out later once I remember their channel name. They had a tip on how to get this off, and it worked flawlessly. So I'm going to share that with you guys now. All right, so I just looked. The person or the channel that originally posted this idea, from what I saw, was their channel was Individualized Repair Inc. Go and check some of his videos out. I wouldn't be able to show you this video at this point without that. So he's got some great, looks like he's got some good content otherwise, but yeah, show him some support because it's a great idea. And something this might be intuitive to some people, but I was pretty stumped and it really helped me out. So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you as best I can. Fortunately, now that I got it off, it won't be as fun the second time, but I can do what I can. So I'm going to pull this PTO over here. It's pretty big and it's pretty heavy. Obviously, so this is the way it goes on as it sits right here. So your pulley is on top and the magnetic part's on the bottom. So that's what. So when you're looking at it from the top, that's what you see, or when you're looking at it from the bottom, that's what you see. I actually had to do this a little bit differently than I originally saw because just the orientation. A lot of mowers, the pulley is below this part, but it's the opposite on this mower, and the limited clearance really made it tough. So I just want to get this in here and show you. I mean, this literally would go straight up onto here, and I'm sure if yours are still on and stuck, you know exactly what I mean. I'm gonna get at it from under this mower, and I'm gonna show you what we did to take this off. All right, so here we go. Like I said, this came from Individualized Inc. channel. They have another version of this. It's a tutorial on their channel where he actually has it on the mower and does the whole process. But I want to show you this, just kind of a different view of how this all worked. So what you want to do, let me go wide view. Here you go. So any type of penetrant, PB blaster, WD-40, whatever your favorite is. It's a little tough because the drive pulley is stacked on top of this belt pulley, but you're gonna have to get in there, get yourself something with a straw on it, and you want to get in there and spray in between and get a liberal amount of lubricant up on top of here, because what you want to do is eventually get the lubricant to run down into here and break up any rust, or just it helps unseize anything that's locked up in there. So I recommend doing that. Like I said, apply a good amount, and then all you're gonna do after that is you're gonna want to take an air hammer like this. Ideally, you probably don't want something with a point on it, but this is all I have. You want something with a blunter tip, but it ended up working out fine in my case, just because of the way, like I said, this is shaped, because you don't want to be putting this sharp point on here. I just didn't want to do that. I don't want to mess this up. So originally, this is how you would be looking at it from the bottom of the mower. So this is kind of the easiest way to show you. Originally, I would bring the air hammer in along the side. You can see kind of my marks there from when I was doing that, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. I don't think the vibrations from the hammer were translating to the actual into the pool. I think it was just getting lost and just vibrating this outside portion, not getting to the middle portion. So what I ended up doing, and this is where the chisel was kind of more important, was I could actually go all the way in to the side and chisel in here, and that sent vibration straight in to the hub assembly part. And the point of all this is that when you apply all those vibrations into this, all the penetrant that you sprayed in there is gonna leak down in here and start breaking up everything in there. So I sprayed the penetrant, let it sit for like 5 minutes or so, got the air hammer set up, hit it with that, and then I got a little, it came off little by little. You hit a little bit more, comes a little farther, kind of work it up and down on the shaft, and eventually it came off quite easy without too much of a pain. I'd originally been banging on it with a mallet, everything like that. Not necessary. It's not necessary to be banging on this thing and accidentally break it. Luckily, mine wasn't too seized on there, but so maybe if it doesn't come off, try it again, put some more penetrant in there. Use your air hammer. You want to, anything that can provide vibrations, maybe like an impact drill with like something in the chuck. So just something to get the vibrations in there so that whatever little tolerance there is, it allows the lubricant to get down in there and loosen it up, and it'll just slide right off. And that's the best way I can explain it. Like I said, I'll link, go check out that other video. He provides a great explanation as well. All right, so now we're back under the mower. So once the PTO is out of the way, obviously, now you can see this whole shaft, it's out of the way. Excuse this light, I'm gonna try to get rid of this glare as best I can. Now it allows you to get access to your drive belt, which is right here. And then the transmissions are back in there. And so this right here is your tensioner arm. So the easiest way I found is I ended up I put an extension for a ratchet into one of these. There's a square hole right here. That's where it goes in. Easiest way to hook it. It's the easiest way to hook my ratchet strap onto there and run it up to the front. I'll get out and show you, and just cinch it down, because this is pretty tight. You're not gonna be able to pull it. I'm not able to pull it with one hand with enough force, and then take the belt off with my other hand. But just releasing it just a little bit allows, let's see if we can do this, allows you to go in and pull the belt off. Just like that. And then, as you can see, the belt is coming down right here. And then to be able to actually get it out, we're going to have to go release this tensioner. So like I said, this is where the ratchet strap goes into the back there. And I have it hooked on really secure right in the front here, so it's not going to go anywhere. What I'm going to do now is release this. There's a lot of tension in it, so you be very careful when you do so. Keep fingers out of the way, make sure nobody's under there. This thing could fly. Let's try to do this without getting hurt. Yeah, like that. So, luckily, I didn't hurt myself, just a loud noise. So now we should be able to remove this drive belt. Let me get up in here. You can see it hanging down here from where I already removed some of it. So we can pull it off front, and it should slide out from behind this tensioner. Apologize, the camera angles aren't great, but if you're under here, you know how tight it is. All right, so here is our drive belt removed. So you can see how bad, here, move you in, get you in front of the light here. You can see how bad this thing is mangled up. Surprising it's still holding together. It's definitely due to be changed. This is a little bit of an older mower, 900 so hours. I've had it for about 500 of those hours, and I've never changed a belt on this thing, so it's definitely due, and that's why we're going to be just doing all of them while we're at it, because it's such of a pain in the butt to access anything. Might as well just do it all while we have it apart. All right, so next up, what we're going to do is remove our other deck belt right here. What we're going to do is lower down the deck, pull the tensioner arm with a ratchet strap like we did for the drive belt. I'll get that set up, and then I'll show you where I have everything hooked up and how we're going to do this one. All right, so like most things, this little project has ended up being a little harder than it looks to get. So again, drop the deck down. Got a socket extender in there with the ratchet strap connected to the socket extender to pull the tension arm that way to release tension on the belt. Ratchet strap coming up to here. Just something, it's not quite as tight as the drive belt one. It's just a little more awkward, especially on the 48, it's a little tight. So 52, 61 might be a little easier, but 48, it's a little tight. Easiest way I found was to pop this deck belt on top of the idler, pop it off the idler itself instead of this, or the spindle pulleys, just because of I wasn't able to release as much tension as I wanted to, but I could get off of this. So that allows you, I could take this off here, and that should allow me to remove the belt from all of these other pulleys, remove it from the one in the middle as well. Luckily, there's not a ton for this to get caught on. Looks like it might be getting caught on the other tensioner for this side. I'm gonna sit you guys down so I can take care of this real quick. All right, so it seems like I'm gonna have to try and, I can't pull this tensioner back with my hand, I don't think. So let me see if I can get it from this angle. Okay. All right, so I was able to get it from this angle. So if your deck belt on the left side here of the deck is still on, this will be easier because this idler will be tensioned. But when it's not, you might be able to see it rubs up against, sorry for the glare, flash fits down there. It rubs up against the center spindle. But I'm gonna pull it back far enough to get that belt off. So now we should be able to pull this out of here. There we go. And yeah, you can see kind of the pitting in this belt. Let me turn this light back on. So it's dying, but give us enough light so you can see. It's just not ideal. Obviously, this is the easiest belt to replace. Pretty good chunk taken out there. Yeah. So otherwise, besides, it didn't look that bad. I can deal with that delamination. And since this is so easy to replace, I wouldn't really mind, but with chunks like that taken out, with the cracking, it's just more worth it to replace it so you don't have to worry about being down out in the field. It's more peace of mind kind of thing at this point. I'll keep it maybe as a backup, possibly, just in case. But I don't want to have to use this if I don't have to. All right, so that kind of concludes getting everything taken apart up to this point. And what we can do is actually start putting new belts back on. So just going over again, this is all we had left of our larger deck belt that connects from the PTO to the deck. As you can see, it was ripped to shreds. Like I said, all these belts were old. This is our deck belt that's going to get replaced, and the dry belt that's getting replaced as well. So we have all the belts off, basically full service for this. So what we're going to do next is I'll get you all the part numbers and show you the belts that we're going to be installing, and then we can start that process. All right, hi everybody, welcome back. It's a new day, still working in the shop. Like I said previously, we're getting started putting back all these belts back on, new belts, and I'm gonna kind of do the work, and then if I run into any problems, I'll show you, but kind of show you each step, what I'm doing, so maybe it can help you out. All right, so first off, I just want to show you the belts that we're gonna be putting on here and the part numbers to make it easy for you. So this is your dry belt part number here. This is the smaller deck belt. There's that, and then that's the part number on your larger deck belt. So when you're looking at these belts, there's a lot of there's more than one part number for the same belt. So if maybe your store doesn't have the one, maybe you have to have the other. Some of them, it's just really weird how they do this. And then also, this is a Wright mower, so you could probably get these same parts from a Wright dealership if that's closer to you. So just kind of work it how you think it's going to work best for you and go from there. But yeah, these are the 3 belts you're going to need. I recommend getting John Deere unless you have another brand that you think is the same or close to the same quality for a lot less. These are expensive, but I think for the most part you get what you pay for. If you know any good brands that are a lot cheaper, or put them in the comments, and I'd be happy to try them out and see if we get the same luck that you would have with them. But yeah, we're going to get into reinstalling everything and show you the process of that. Hi everybody, welcome back to another day in the shop. This mower's been up on jack stands now for probably 2 weeks or so. I was a little slow to get my belt in the beginning, and now I also figured I'd show you what I have been able to do up to this point. So as you can see, we got the smaller side belt on, the one on the top here. You can see it's tight. It was a little tight to get in there, but it just means it's probably gonna have a lot of traction, your belts won't slip, things like that, so that's good. The other side, obviously it's not tight yet because it goes on the PTO, which is below the dry belt pulley under the motor. So the dry belt has to go on first before that can be connected. But to put this belt, the right side, the smaller belt on, you have to put the longer left side belt on that attaches to the PTO because it goes on top. So this one has to go first, and then you can put this on. I was just trying to get as far as I could before, so I could just throw the dry belt on and be ready to and be done faster, basically. All right, so after pulling back that idler and routing the belt properly, seems like the John Deere belt is good, tight, got clearance everywhere, seem to be good to go. Make sure you route the belt properly. I did it wrong the first time and it caused some issues. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Finally realized this is the way to do it. Instead of having the long one come up on this side over here, I was having it come up on this side. If you're having clearance issues with your idler hitting either of the transmission pulleys, just double check that. All right, so now we're gonna get back in. We're gonna throw this PTO back on. We'll get the deck belts routed properly, and we should be good to go at this portion once everything gets reinstalled. All right, so we got the PTO back on and tightened down. It's a bit of a pain because tight to reach. It's tight clearance on the shaft itself. It's not easy to slide on there. I recommend put some WD-40 on both surfaces. Just helps everything glide together a little better. And then tighten the bolt down, and I think we're good to go. You gotta make sure you get it lined up on the little post that comes down. Let's see if I can get my hand in here to show you. Little post right here that comes down. Is that better? Yeah, there you can see it now. That post that comes down, that holds the PTO when you turn it so the whole thing doesn't spin. We'll go ahead and connect this wire back up. This is our deck belt right here. But we can go ahead and just snap that back into place. Like so. So that should give us power to the PTO. And we're gonna go ahead, loosen the tensioner on the belt for the drive, slip this around, and then I'll show you everything hooked back up. All right, so we now have all our belts on. So everything's tight up front. Show you underneath. There's the PTO reinstalled. All our belts run all over the place. It took me a few tries to get it up in there. Make sure when you're running your belt, it goes on, see if you can get it better. It goes on the outside of, hold on, the black bar that sticks down here that the PTO cable runs along. The belt goes on the outside of that. Didn't realize that the first time, had to take it back off, which was a pain in the butt, as you can imagine. So, that being said, we should be good to go. We're gonna move on to the next phase. Put some hydraulic oil in here. We're gonna mess with that leak later, and see that everything functions properly.